Chiefs, oh my God, if they got Dexter Lawrence. Well, that's kind of the big story that's coming out about Dexter Lawrence wanting that trade, because if they actually wind up moving him, yeah, he would be an insane addition to any defensive line that he joined. Yeah, the Chiefs would be. I don't think Brandon.
Why do we got to try and put every really good player on the Chiefs? Let's not even go down that.
Probably because the Broncos couldn't outbid them. You know,
man. We'll outbid them. We got.
Well, I mean, just saying with Kenneth Walker, you didn't. That's why.
Yeah.
I mean, we have that footage.
In their face, baby.
It is true. We have that footage of meeting for the first time. It's true.
No, Dexter Lawrence, if the Giants are willing to trade him, that is both literally a big piece and just terms of impact as a player, a big piece any team can add. One of the most dominant nose tackles. This is just funny.
I think so.
Pressures when aligned at nose tackle since 2022. Dexter Lawrence.
Can we pause real quick? How many tackles is that?
Pressures is 108 pressures since 2022.
It's 108?
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Good. Continue.
Who's next? Vita Vea, 32.
There you go.
DJ Jones, Bronco, DJ Reader. Got Jordan Davis in there. He didn't come in till a little later. But that's one metric to show you how dominant sexy Dexy has been.
Yeah, so Dexter Lawrence, because he's 28, I want to say, because he's definitely not 30. We'll do our research.
How old is Dexter Lawrence?
Yeah, he's 28 years old. Yes. Yeah, so he's 28. He's a monster, man. Like, being on that D-line, adding him to any D-line is going to be a massive, massive upgrade. I'm very curious on what your thoughts are if he actually gets moved, right? Because he has, if I'm not mistaken, he has 2 years left on his deal, right? And it's a pretty team-friendly deal. He's due for a mega contract. You know, he's going to get at least one more. So if he winds up getting traded, you're probably going to see at least a 2-year extension on top of the 2-year that he already has. And he's going to get paid a crap ton of money. If you're the Giants, right, and you're kind of going through this, hey, we could be this wild card contender-esque team, you know, because we have a young squad. We're going to get some folks back from injury. You know, we're going to see Dart actually with Neighbors for the first time. Scadaboo's going to come back. Do you have that incentive to move Lawrence, who's an excellent player, kind of like a Jalen Waddle situation, right? I feel like you try your best not to, because the Giants are in a different place than the Dolphins. The Dolphins are like full rebuild. We're tearing it all down. You know, Waddle, by the time we're competitive, he's going to kind of age out. Here, I feel like you mentioned this last year, especially talking about the Giants defense, that they were your dark horse last year. I feel like this year, there's a good possibility, if everybody stays healthy, that they can be contending for a playoff spot.
Yeah, I think Lawrence is too good to get rid of right now.
Let's go.
You've got a whole new coaching regime in there. It feels like Dexter Lawrence is the type of guy John Harbaugh would want on his defensive line. It's a position you could draft, but finding dominant interior defensive linemen is not easy. So
right.
I think part of this, I think, stems from Dexter Lawrence and his frustration with the previous regime there, right? He's supposedly kind of been unhappy with the Giants for a little bit. He wants an extension. Yeah, why? He wants an extension, a new deal, or whatever. But he has 2 years left on this, so the Giants don't have to move him.
No, they don't.
I feel like this is going to be one of those long games of chicken that we're kind of talking about until August.
Yeah.
But if a team really wants Lawrence and they're going to offer up what the Giants would accept, I don't know what an elite nose tackle even commands for draft capital trades, because it's not a position we see get traded at this juncture in terms of like a blockbuster type
Unless it's
trade.
Kenny Clark for Micah Parsons with some draft picks.
Right. Yeah. I mean, and that happened in late August?
Yeah, it was August. Yeah.
And that's, Micah Parsons, that's a different position.
Yeah, I agree
Lawrence,
with you.
he signed a 4-year, $87.5 million contract with the Giants,
which has aged beautifully.
Yeah, 2023. The Giants this was their out year if they actually wanted to move on from him. And I think like if you're the Giants, you look at some of the other pieces you've let go. Leonard Williams been really good on the defensive front for Seattle. You've got Xavier McKinney in Green Bay. Opposite side of the ball, but Saquon Barkley, like I don't think they can really afford to give up another really good piece to watch that player succeed somewhere else. Figure out the contract, extend him, make him happy, and because that's a guy who, when you're talking about a dominant nose tackle, and people are worried because he had a half sack last year.
Yes.
So like but like your nose tackle's not even a guy you're banking on for sacks.
I mean, we just showed the pressures.
Yeah, he had an interception. So he had a half sack and he had an interception last year. It's a really weird stat line. Sacks were produced more from the edges. Like Brian Burns had a nice season. You drafted Abdul Carter. They could maybe trade Thibodeau. So maybe like thinking about your edge in the rest of that defensive line, like just keep the guy in the middle who's going to demand attention from multiple offensive linemen through the course of the year.
And like, especially with the progress of Abdul Carter, right? Like you want him to develop, like having Dexter Lawrence on your squad to take attention away from it. Like it is going to give him more opportunities, right? And if you're able to have like Burns and Carter and Lawrence like really start to hit their stride, that D line is going to be disgusting. Like it's going to be really, really good. So for me, it doesn't make a lot of sense for the Giants to move off him. And as you were talking about, the Giants don't have to do diddly squat. They got 2 more years with Dexter Lawrence, and they're the ones who control his fate. So they could just turn around and be like, sorry, no. And then it's a matter of he's holding out or not, right? So there's that. It also feels like there would have to be an insane offer for them to move off of him. Because as we were talking about on Monday, right, you look at this draft class and it seems more geared towards the defense. So, they're probably not going to be able to get a Dexter Lawrence, but they'll be able to draft, who potentially could be his replacement. It would have to be, oh man, what are you trading for an elite nose tackle? Like it has to be at least a first, right? Like for him. And then you're adding extra in there of like a first and a second or a first and a third. Like, because again, the only reason why it wouldn't be more is because whatever team trades for him is going to have to give him an extension, right? And it's going to be some big time money. But I just feel like it doesn't make sense for the Giants right now because they could, if Carter steps up and is that guy, that D-line could be real damn good this upcoming year. And if that offense shows some production too, it's your young players. What about it? That all being said, I will trade a 3rd round pick on behalf of the Packers for Dexter Lawrence.
A third rounder, sure.
Think about it, Giants. Just think about it.
Feel like you're doing like a 2nd rounder this year, 3rd rounder next year, that type of shit.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I really don't know what the trade comp is. We got NFL.com's landing spots are the Raiders, the Bengals, the Ravens, the Bears, the Chargers. Don't give him to Houston.
Oh my God, Houston would be...
Jacksonville would be fun. I think Jacksonville would be very fun. They were aggressive when they moved up to get Travis Hunter in the draft last year.
Sure.
But you put him on that defensive line with Josh Hines-Allen and the highly paid Trayvon Walker. That's fun.
Yeah.
I don't know if the Chargers really need him. Bears would make sense. Harbaugh trading him to the Ravens would just be funny. Raiders also makes sense, but they took a big swing on Wilkins, right?
Yeah.
Like And it was different. It was different GM that made the Wilkins move, right? That was not Spytech. That was the year before Spytech, I believe.
Yeah, Wesley, that's a good point, right? You did have, because it was a first round pick and a second round pick. And then it was
There you
also
go.
Mozzie Smith, too, right? That they traded. So that was like the last time that you saw a defensive tackle, right? Like kind of go
There we
for
go.
big money. And so, yeah, I would imagine it'd be around like a first and a third, first and a second, somewhere around there. It's also the Cowboys, so you never know. But yeah. I mean, the Raiders, I don't think makes a ton of sense because they just completely revamped that defense and also got Max Crosby back. I feel like that they wouldn't invest this in him. They need to invest in the trenches on the other side, if anything. Yeah, Jaguars would be fun. Bengals would love to have him.
Bengals aren't going to do it.
I don't think they're going to do it, though. The
That
Ravens
poor-ass franchise that doesn't want to pay anybody going to go get Dexter Lawrence, who wants more money.
Do you think the Ravens would be like, oh, wait, never mind, for a second defensive player this offseason? That honestly would be fantastic. If they were like, you know what, let's give 2 first-round picks for Sexy Dexy, and then a week and a half later, never mind. I think so.
His physical, he weighs too much. He weighs too much for us.